Hello, everybody. I'm here somewhere, but I forgot to change the thumbnail, so let's fix that right now. Hi, happy Tuesday, as I make things look different here. Give me a second. Aha, there we go. There's the right one. Ha ha, good morning, and welcome to the show. I'm sure many of you are glad that this shit's working on Rumble, because it wasn't earlier. Or at least the last couple of days. Hi, it's Tuesday, and it's Twitter Tuesday. I've got most of my stuff from Twitter, but I got stuff from a lot of different places. And I got to turn this up, too. I didn't turn the gain back up. I've been recording a lot lately, if you haven't noticed. If you've been on my other channel, you'll notice that I'm dropping new little short videos just about every day. What do you mean this music's horrible? It's 90s pop. That's the genre. Here, let me turn it down again. It's not horrible. It's just, turn that music down. It's very not 90s pop-like. Come on now. You know how this works. Anyway, let's get it started. Johnny, let's go ahead and play that intro and we'll get this thing going. Johnny, right now, because that music's horrible. Start it. Yes, now.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America. It's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only P-Dog Night.
Let's go! Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as P-Dog Night on the internet. Welcome back to the P-Dog Night channel, where there's some women out there who just want other women to get their butts kicked. That's the theme today. And by the way, I think I got a spider bite. When I was a little kid, every once in a while, and it usually happened in the spring, I'd wake up and I'd try to, I'd go look at the mirror and one of my eyes would be all puffy and stuff. And that happened to me yesterday. I can't really tell if it's like that today. I haven't looked in the mirror, I guess, because I didn't shave today. But so anyway, wait, why is my link? Why am I getting a notification from Linktree? Oh, I see. Anyway, I think the puffiness gone down. It happened. Well, I don't know if I even had it yesterday. I'm not even sure, but oh well, who knows? Anyway, it's tax week, also known as Hell Week in the United States of America. Hope you all are doing your stuff. I'm finishing mine up today. It sucks. I hate it. But there's certainly things that I don't know. I hate it. Okay, I have no pre-intro or intro stuff to say, so let's just say hi and get this stuff going because it's already getting the time's getting wasted away. First in the chat over on Rumble's Avocado Diably, who gets the bell. Thank you, sir, for jumping in. And also good morning to Mike Savage, Blarg, Tall Person. Hi to you too. Also, Sully209, Jimmy Dots Hotep, and and that's everything. And I got a Rumble rant over on Rumble. Thank you, Tall Person, dropping a deuce in the tip jar. We'll gladly clean that up. Who says, Happy National Cheese Fondue Day. Yes, cheese fondue. You know how fondue was like a big thing in the late 60s, early 70s. And actually it's coming back a little bit. Especially like, so when we had a party once and they had one of those chocolate fondue things. So they had the little fondue fountain and the chocolate would stream off the sides of the fountain and you just take your banana or your what do they have? They like little squares of pound cake and all kinds of things and strawberries and you just put it under the little stream of chocolate and then you eat it. And it was really good. And I hadn't seen a fondue in so long. And I've also seen like fried fondues too, where you had they had a pot and you put a bunch of little things outside, like some cheese and breaded cheese and shrimp and little things you could dip in the hot oil and that kind of fondue. But today is National Cheese Fondue Day. Now they do have the cheese fountain sometimes, or you just have the dipping pot fountain or whatever. So anyway, yes, fondue. Who's asking about fondue? Fondue is amazing. Chocolate fondue is not fondue. What? Well, sure it is. It's just a different kind of fondue. I'm just saying. So anyway, thank you. And also, morning TC over on Rumble. On YouTube, first in the chat was also Avocados Diablo gets the bell. Thank you for being here. Also, Tex AG007, TC's in the house, Tyler F, Mike Savage, Blog, Dr. Funkenstein's Ghost, I am your Huckleberry. Yes, of course. Also, good morning to Lord Stanhope. Hello, Simon Wolfwood. Tall person's over there too. Also, good morning to who do I got? Oh, Septus Wolf's here. JMK, what up? Good morning also to Rotten Corpse, and as I already said, tall person, and I already said Lord Stanhope. There we go. Nice. GDSOB, what's up? Nice to see you. Who did I miss? Someone's up here that I didn't see on the other side. I know I skipped somebody, didn't I? Maybe not. There's more down here, though. I'll scroll down. We got, there's got to be someone else here. Oh, Swirly, what's up? Nice to have you back. Also, good morning to Chicago Mike, what up? And that's about everybody so far. But people are coming in slowly and surely because, I don't set up the streams early like I used to. So you're not going to get 40 people right at the beginning. But hey, hopefully we'll get 40 people. Hey, speaking of which, I'd be so happy if you would help me do that. Share the stream with somebody, somewhere, somehow. And also, if you want to hit the like button during the show, and if you want to sponsor the show, you can do that at pdognight.live. That would be the Streamlabs link, where you could become the Streamlabs superstar sponsor of the day. Good morning, Nomad. Hammer time. What's up? Or super chats and Rumble rants are cool too. Thank you, tall person, for dropping that Rumble rant. One of these days I'm going to figure out how to get that out of there. But I appreciate it. They're accumulating, and someday I will be able to take that out. I have a message to Rumble just yesterday about that because I'm like, man, how the hell did I get this out? I didn't even know. I have accounts set up there, and I have the right bank account set up and everything. It's just not working. I don't know why. I'm not getting they're supposed to get a little button that you just click this and then they send it to you, but it's all accumulating over there. But someday I'll get it, and that's great. And I do have my cup of reparations right here in the good old Salt Lake City, Utah cup. It's getting a little mangled here, though. I'm a little getting concerned. I might have to stop putting this in the dishwasher. Might just have to hand wash this bad boy. But it is one of my favorite cups. My wonderful son-in-law got me this when he was out in Utah one time, and I thought, hey, this is pretty cool. All right, shall we get into the news? It is Twitter Tuesday, so I do want you to, most of the stuff I got today was from Twitter, although I have several articles that I got from other aggregators, but the stuff we'll start with will be from Twitter, because there's a couple things trending that I think are interesting, a little bit, somewhat interesting. And so we'll talk about those first. What the hell? Oh, by the way, real quick, thank yous. Oh my gosh, 9 notifications. What do I got? Thank you, TC and Simon Wolfwood and Banks and Jimmy Das, Hotep and Tall Person and Snobdumble Nation. All of you have already shared this stream on one form of social media, and if you want to put it on their form of social media, all you got to do on YouTube is click that little share arrow down there. I don't know how it works on Rumble. I've really never paid attention. Let me look at the Rumble stream here. There isn't really a share. All you do, you cut and paste the URL if you want to share on Rumble. And oh wait, no, there is a share button. It's a little share up, that little half square that's open at the top and with the arrow going up. That's the share button. So you can share it on Rumble too, using just a click. So I would appreciate if you all do that. All right, let's get into the news. Some things that are trending on YouTube this morning. One, besides it being National Cheese Fondue Day, it's also... Wait a minute, what the hell did I do there? What the hell? Where is it? Hang on. Okay, there we go. It is National Pet Day. Yes, it is National Pet Day. Now, I don't know why I thought this was important. I just thought this was a kind of cute little cartoon here at Happy Pet Day. And I have to be careful scrolling because you never know what kind of things you're going to see. You might see some furries, furry that thing. I can't say early in the show. But there's interesting little tweets. Like here's Elvis with his dog or his dogs. He had some dogs during his day, or he hung out with dogs. Let's see. I don't know why National Pet Day is showing a picture of the Empire State Building. That's weird. Here's someone who put their dog in a little birthday hat with a little stuffed dog that's in a birthday hat. So anyway, yeah, people are sharing pictures of their pets. I would share a picture of my dog, Clifford, but you'll just have to go to the... You'll just have to go over to my other channel, Marty's Big Journey, where I have some videos that include my dog Clifford. Speaking of which, I would, if you are ever just need a palate cleanser, I'd like you to also check out Marty's Big Journey channel. It's on YouTube. You can find it there, or it'll be in the links at the end of the show. But I just do a lot of little short stuffs of vacation and inspirational things and nice little videos, little short stuff. So check it out. Check it out. Oh, it's a King Kong reference. Oh, for the Empire State Building. Well, was he a pet? Was King Kong a pet? Okay, I'm scared to scroll now because this one's already. Oh, it's not on the screen. I can go ahead and scroll and find out if they mentioned King Kong in that post at the Empire State Building. There's a lot of lot of nice posts though. So I'm going to leave that in the links today. As you know, every day, all the links, everything I click on, I'll just put in the one tab link at the end of the show. I'll drop the link in the chat, and it'll also be in the description down below. I update during the outro. Did they make a reference to King Kong? They didn't. It's just okay. Oh, the Empire State Building itself, that their Twitter feed says Happy National Pet Day without referencing pets, just showing a picture of their building. So that's weird. That's weird. All right. Also, something else trending on Twitter today was YouTube TV. Now, this is interesting. I don't know if any of you are. Wait, what the hell happened there? Why did that flip? There we go. YouTube TV is trending because of one thing. If you did not know, apparently, NFL Sunday Ticket used to be able to get from cable companies, right? You used to be able to get from cable companies. Well, for some reason, NFL Sunday Ticket moved to YouTube TV. Now, I don't know. I know I have a couple friends who have YouTube TV and they like it, I guess. But here's the weird thing. I think NFL Sunday Ticket might have cost $60, $70 when it was on cable. And the reason it's trending on YouTube is because now NFL Sunday Ticket is $349 a season, $249 if you purchase before June 6th, $389. I don't know what this is. $389, $289 early if you bundle with Red Zone. Non-YouTube TV subscribers, $449 a season. Now I don't know why there's two price tiers here. Is there anyone who would pay that to watch? Wait a minute. YouTube Study Ticket is available starting today, but it's not going to be cheap. Yeah, it's very expensive. I don't recall Sunday Ticket costing that much. And I used to have it. But when I had it through because I had it through cable. I think I had it. Did I have Sunday Ticket? I might have bought it 1 year, but it was never that much. Holy crap. That's insane. Hey, Maddie, how you doing? Nice to see you. So that's why YouTube TV is trending. NFL is seriously screwed up here by partnering with YouTube. This is insane. NFL Sunday Ticket is absolutely dead. We won't pay. We will watch in the other ways that we do for free. Meaning they find a way. They find a way. Holy shit. Maybe they use a VPN and find a way to watch whatever their favorite teams through that. But yeah, full season. That's a lot. I think. Is there anyone here has ever bought NFL Sunday Ticket lately? I guess I haven't bought it for several years. But I didn't think it was worth it when I bought it. I can just go watch the highlights on ESPN or something. But if you have it, let's for example, you grew up a New York Giants fan and you lived in the East Coast and near New York, whatever, and you got New York Giants. And then you moved to, say, Houston, Texas, where they never play Giants games unless they're playing one of the Texas teams, and you want to follow your team. They need to buy an NFL Sunday ticket and you can watch your team all season. But, not for $349. That's got to be like cheap seats in the season ticket somewhere. I don't know. That's just weird. Sunday ticket was free with Verizon. That's what it was. I had it with Verizon. That's why because I didn't think I even paid for it. Yes, it was free if you were a Verizon customer. I don't know if that's ever going to happen again. So anyway, yeah, because I had the app on my phone when I was with Verizon, and I'd check it out there. That's what it was. I knew it was way cheaper than $349 damn dollars. Holy smoly, schmoly, cannoli. So anyway, $400 to watch 20 men stand around for 2 hours and run for 3 minutes of that. Yeah, that's crazy. Hello, Robert Banks. What's up? Thanks for sharing the stream this morning. All right, moving on. Also trending this morning, boycott Olay. Holy crap. This little weirdo dude is now also being sponsored by Olay, the moisturizer company. Remember oil of Olay? I remember when I was a kid, my mom had oil of Olay on the little pink lotion bottle. And now this so now I almost said Dylan Roof. Dylan Mulvaney is also the new face of Olay skincare. Now, this is almost humor. This is funny for a couple reasons. It's sad too. So there's all these boycotts. Supposedly everything that this little knucklehead sponsors is being boycotted. But look, I really don't think you're hurting any of these companies by boycotting them. Really, I mean, supposedly Bud Light, Anheuser-Busch is losing sales too because of the stupid Bud Light thing. I just find it fascinating that this male human being, I don't think I can get in trouble for that because that's fact. The sex of this human being is male. That's why I would say he, him pronouns, because that's my vernacular, or that's my dialect, or that's my usage of the English language. That's how I work. I don't work from the self-proclaimed genders, okay? But what's interesting is this moron who's just playing. I think he's playing everybody. I really do. I don't think he's real. I don't think he's sincere. Okay. This is a kid who's been trying to get, by the way, speaking of which, yes, Olay has done wonders for Dylan Mulvaney, as you can see from this photo with the razor bumps under the makeup. Yeah, this person is all makeup, lighting, and exaggerated stereotypes of women, which I don't understand why women can stand this dude. Okay, I just don't. I don't get it. Now, one thing that also I've kind of noticed with this is there are a lot of people who spend a lot of time almost promoting this idiot because the outrage that he continually generates. And I'm at a point where I think I want to start ignoring this little this person, this weirdo, this, who is clearly just, I mean, literally playing everybody. I'm convinced of it. It's acting. It's just silly. It's just silly, and I don't get it. So I'm not gonna give this person the attention anymore. This is the last day I'll do it, but let's we'll look at a couple things here. Thank you, Jimmy Das Hotep, for sponsoring the show. Dropping a big bullet in the tip jar, also known as a 556. A beauty product that makes a surgically modified dude look less like a dude. They are going hard for those beauty sales. Yeah, exactly. It is so weird that this I keep saying weirdo, but he's kind of a weirdo. He's just a this ultra theatrical person who's made a new name for himself by his 365 days as a girl, pretending and play acting to act like a little girl who's just so happy and this and that and just excited to be alive. Is causing it just annoying so many people so bad that women are even starting to. I mean, well, not that women weren't annoyed by him already, but just the stereotypes that he he makes of women. So here he is. What is this? Okay, let's see what he says.
I am Eloise. I am 6.
I see.
I'm a city child.
Now he's playing a 6-year-old girl.
I live at the Plaza Hotel, which is huge and wonderful and très elegant, especially at Christmas time.
It's all acting. It's just
Eloise.
he is attention whore extraordinaire. No, I am not. Oh, I didn't. You couldn't even see that shit, did you? Here's the crap that he's doing.
I am 6. I'm a city child. I live at the Plaza Hotel, which is huge and wonderful and très elegant.
Shut up! Shut up! Please stop! Megan, stop! Megan, stop! Holy shit! This dude. Oops! This dude. Now a couple things. Oh, now here's a good point though. I'll tell you some of the people who are criticizing him, but they're actually promoting him and criticizing. I think he's becoming more and more famous because of his weirdness. Here's one. Now LA has the man who parodies women as the star of their new advert. Why the obsession with this weirdo at the expense of women who use their product, or at least used to? It'll be interesting if there is actually the memes putting the boy in boycott. That's funny. So anyway, I'm sure he's used to that feeling right there. And so anyway, what? Okay, so anyway, LA every day. Yeah, fantastic. Not okay. The unacceptable woman face of misogyny. Boycott LA. I don't know if, I don't think any of these companies are necessary. Oh, by the way, I forgot. Jimmy Does Hotep. You are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. So anyway, this moron. Also, thank you, Maddie, dropping a link in the tip jar. Thank you very much. Maddie says, we can't. I find him the most intolerable individual on the planet next to AOC. Dylan is like a hyperactive squirrel and the embodiment of every woman stereotype known to man. I wish she would just disappear. He's a pick-me to the nth degree. Yes, I greatly agree with that. Yeah, he's super. And in fact, there's let's see, someone had a post here showing how this guy's always been basically looking for sponsors for things. Here it is. Here, let's put that there. So this is interesting. 3 strikes, you're out. And this is another boycott LA one, but Dylan's been looking for sponsorships. Oh, you can't even see that, can you? Let's do this. Dylan's been looking for sponsorships for years, since she was a boy. And here's someone down here asking he was asking Patagonia to sponsor us. They were in Yosemite National Park. And then I don't know what this is. And now he's also like, I think isn't Tampax the most illogical thing to sponsor this moron. Tampax, something that this moron does not use. I just don't get it. All right, let's move on because I'm enough talking about this moron. Also trending is the Marvels. The new Marvels movie trailer is out. Now, I'm not necessarily going to show the trailer. I mean, but I'll leave the link here. All I can say about this is I really hope, what are the 2 actresses' names that are joining, one's playing Monica, is it Devereaux? I don't know. I'm trying to remember the name. And I don't know who the third girl is. But anyway, I hope the actresses Iman Vellani and Tiana Paris make up for the lack of acting skills that Brie Larson has, because she's like watching a saltine cracker with some American cheese on it. That's about how exciting she is. And the one thing about the Marvels movie that, at least in this case, this was not a case of black-facing characters, because I believe the original, what is her name? What's the character's name? I don't remember, but at least this character, this black woman here, is playing a character that was originally black. So there we go. We finally have Monica Rambeau was always a black woman in the original Marvel series. So that's something new. Congratulations. And I haven't watched the trailer, but me acting like I don't care about the Marvels trailer, so it comes faster. Okay, yeah, I don't care. Hopefully this will be a better movie than anything that Brie Larson is, because Brie Larson is about as exciting as a dry noodle. Not even a wet noodle, a dry noodle. That's how exciting Brie Larson is. So Ms. Marvel, yes, Monica Rambeau, that was and Kamala Khan. There you go. Was it Nick Fury originally white? Yes, Nick Fury was originally white, but they've had Samuel L. Jackson playing Nick Fury for a long time, so I'm not so concerned about it. And I think he does just a fine job as Nick Fury. But yes, Nick Fury was originally white. But again, they're comic book characters. I just hate when they just, like, one year the character will be the white dude, and the next year it'll be the black dude, and it's like, wait, what? Why are you putting blackface in the comic? What can you write a new comic? Write a new superhero. You know, they did it with, what was that one that Will Smith played? I wish they'd do more of that guy. What was that movie called? Somebody in the chat tell me where Will Smith played the superhero that was a drunk. I thought that was pretty good. And that was a new character. They just write a new damn character. You know? Or just there's some black superhero characters that were in comic books that they haven't really explored. Obviously Black Panther did well, and you didn't have to rewrite a character. So it's just weird. Anyway, good morning, Jay Pylon from the Hopetep Nation. And also hello to my favorite Canadian, Jaeger Pony, and another one of my favorite Canadians, Jen T. What's up? Nice to see you in the chat. All right, let's move on. What else is trending? Let's see. Oh, She's 19 is trending. Now, it seems like it might be nefarious. Wait, what? Should have been disabled. Oh, yeah, that's not what the reason She's 19 is trending is because Millie Bobby Brown is engaged. And people are like, oh my God, Millie Bobby Brown's engaged. Isn't she so young? Well, nope, she's 19 years old, and she's apparently getting hitched to somebody. Announced her engagement on Instagram. So lots of people are talking about Millie Bobby Brown is now engaged, thinking, oh my God, she's a little girl. No, she's old enough. So Millie Brown is about to join the ranks of failed Hollywood marriages. Fantastic. Good for her. And that's the only reason I mentioned it. Let's get into the main topic of today, though. Millie Bobby Brown is the girl from Stranger Things that had the superpowers. Millie, no relation to Bobby Brown. Every little step I take, you will be there. Every little step I make. No, not that. Nothing to do with that Bobby Brown. Millie Bobby Brown is the star of one of the stars of Stranger Things, if you ever were into that show. All right, let's get to the main topics today, because yesterday, Hancock, that was the movie I was talking about, Hancock. I really enjoyed that movie. And yes, Eric July has Eric July come on here with P-Dog yet? No, I've never had any interaction with Eric July. I'd love to talk to him. I think he's a very interesting dude. And he has his own comic book that he wrote with a black character, but you know what? It's a character that happens to be black, and he wrote it that way and wrote his own character because he hates the black facing of old characters too. And so he decided to make his own new comic book, and he's doing really well with it. He's generated millions of dollars of revenue. Now, not necessarily profit, but definitely revenue. And never watched Stranger Things, so that isn't helping. LOL. Well, I didn't either. My wife and I started watching it. Was it on Netflix? I think it's a Netflix show, right? So we finally, everyone was talking about it for years, and finally me and my wife were like, oh, we'll sit down and watch this. And it's actually a pretty entertaining show, interesting plot line, interesting thing. Although it got a little repetitive from season to season as far as the plot line for a season, but it's an interesting show, and we kind of enjoyed it. So, but it was a phenomenon when it first came out. Everybody liked it, and Millie Bobby Brown was the little girl who had the kind of superpower thing going on, and that was kind of cool. And that's who Millie Bobby Brown was. But everyone thinks she's still a little girl. No, she's 19 years old. She's old enough to get married. You know, she's at the perfect age to start. I can't believe I was going to say this. Just start popping out kids when she's married and stuff, but who knows? I just let her live her life. She's 19. She can make decisions. And then, like I said, she'll join the ranks of failed Hollywood marriages anytime now. So let's talk about the main topic of the day, which yesterday afternoon when I came back and was looking at the old Twitter machine, Megan Rapinoe and Sue Bird. Well, Megan Rapinoe was trending, but she and Sue Bird were trending because. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, Jimmy Das Hotep, thank you again. ISOM issue 2 coming out in July. Probably he grossed over $3 million with the first issue. We need to support people like Eric July. The parallel economy is the way. Yeah, man. Thank you, by the way, for sponsoring the show. Yeah. That's a big deal. If ISOM, I-S-O-M, one of these days I will talk about that a little more in depth. I really didn't. I've mentioned it in passing a couple times, but good for Eric July coming out with the second issue. He's killing it with this new comic book, and everyone's very much into it. They like the writing. They like the art. He's brought in some really good artists for this thing, and it's exciting. GFC, you give money to Netflix. Well, yes, I do. I probably shouldn't, but it's my wife really enjoys several shows on there. So, and now we're oh my gosh, right now we're binge watching the show Shameless. Holy God, it's just talk about it's a series about one of the most dysfunctional families on the planet, and it's actually kind of funny. So yeah, I admit I give money to Netflix. So there you go. Mario Brothers movies up to $326 million so far. Yeah, we talked about that yesterday. Marvel, it's killing it, even though, despite the fact that John Leguizamo wanted people to boycott it. So, all right, let's get into why Megan Rapinoe was trending yesterday, because Megan Rapinoe and Sue Bird among athletes who signed letter opposing. Wait, why did they cut this off? Well, here, let's just read the article. This is from Sports Illustrated. Sue Bird, Megan Rapinoe among 40 athletes to sign letter opposing federal anti-trans sports ban. Now, what's interesting, I found it fascinating that Sports Illustrated puts this article out yesterday, but they don't link to the letter. But let's read how Sports Illustrated writes it. Madison Williams, the writer for Sports Illustrated. This is fascinating. Megan and Sue have an OnlyFans. No, they don't. No, they don't. Ugh. Yeah. Don't want to see that. Just don't. I'm sure there's some people who would just because they're famous. Anyway, a group of 40 professional Olympic and Paralympic athletes signed a letter regarding recent anti-trans sports ban sent to the House of Representatives legislative directors on Monday. The athletes include U.S. women's national team star Megan Rapinoe and recently retired WNBA star Sue Bird. They are a couple. And U.S. women's national team star Becky Sauerbrunn. The remaining athletes who signed the letter, organized by the LGBTQ advocacy group Athlete Ally, compete in various sports such as soccer, hockey, and rugby. Yeah, we need to have some more males in women's rugby. That would make it more exciting. Anyway, the letter calls out the Republican-led, quote, protect of, now this has got to be a typo, protect of girls and women in sports act, clearly a typo, HR 734, which would ban transgender and intersex girls and women from competing in sports across the country. Okay, first of all, listen to how she wrote this. And it's in the letter too. Would ban transgender and intersex girls and women from competing in sports across the country. That's false. It will not do that. They can still compete in sports, just not against female human beings. Because sports is not segregated by your new version of gender. Sports are segregated by sex. Sex. Let's talk about sex. By sex. Stop it, Marty. That's not funny. Okay, now, if the bill passes, it would become part of Title IX legislation. Well, it kind of already is, and because Title IX, again, is based on sex, not gender, or what is it? Gender. What's the other word they like to? Gender. Gender expression, meaning how you wear your clothes and your hair and shit. It's not separated by gender expression, or anything like that. And it wouldn't stop intersex females from participating in sports because they're still females, even if they are intersex. That just means they have an extra chromosome that makes their, makes some of their, and look, the intersex canard, 0.0018% of the world population is intersex. It's a completely rare thing, and where it can come up. For example, Caster Semenya, the distance runner from South Africa, who they did not even discover that Caster Semenya was male until well into her adulthood, because her testes were hidden inside the internal body. They never realized that this person had male genitalia and it was a male human, and has become, was a very lived as a woman. Now that's one of those weird things where, because they say, oh well, see, she was assigned female at birth. Kind of was, because there was no observation of the fact that Caster Semenya was a male. They never knew it, and that's how that person grew up. So anyway, real quick, thank you, Gunfox61, for dropping a Hamilton in the tip jar. I'm having a little trouble talking here. Who says another tranny in the pedo administration? Oh, good Lord. Here we go. We'll just put that one on the end here. Oh, hang on a second. Let's see. Oh, offshore chief of energy. Oh, great. We'll get to that later. I promise I will get to it today, though. So anyway, let's go back to this article from Sports Illustrated. Now, 40 athletes who signed the letter expressed how the proposed bill, quote, does not protect women in sports, end quote, as it would exclude women and girls from getting necessary mental and physical health benefits. How would it do that? We'll read the letter in a second here. Well, let's read the letter, because they don't even put the letter in this article, which is kind of weird. Why wouldn't you put the letter in the article? So here's the Athlete Ally website where they have the letter. This is an archive version just in case they change it. Pro, Olympic, and Paralympic athletes, Olympic, and Paralympic athletes signed open letter against HR 734. Today, elite professional Olympic and Paralympic athletes signed on to an open letter opposed. Now, remember, they only got 40 signatories on this. Now, they certainly probably could get more, but 40? That's all they got? Which would stipulate that Title IX compliance requires a federal ban of transgender and intersex girls and women from participating in sports. No, not from participating in sports. It would require as Title IX does, separation because of sex, not gender. Intersex, false. It would not prevent intersex women, intersex females from participating in sports. That is false. But they need to make this hyperbolic, so they do. The letter was sent to the House of Representative Legislative Directors and was covered by Sports Illustrated. Oh, except they didn't link the letter for some reason. The letter full can be found below. So here's the letter, and let's go through this letter. Yes, women.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Exactly. So, we, the undersigned athletes, believe that every child deserves to have their life changed for the better by being able to participate in the sports that they love. Doesn't prevent anyone from playing the sport they love. Just determines where they played or who they played against. It doesn't stop them from playing sports. As professional, Olympic, and Paralympic athletes. So this is there's a fallacy on this when you the fallacy of experts or something like that. We have dedicated our lives to sports, okay, and that means nothing to me. Sports have given us our greatest friends, taught us incredible life lessons, and given us the confidence and drive to succeed in the world. Those of us who love sport know that its value goes far beyond the playing field to developing a sense of self and identity. No, it really doesn't. Okay? It actually teaches you teamwork and other things, work ethic and things like that, but it has nothing to do with yourself and identity and reflecting what we value as a community. Sport is a tremendous outlet for physical and mental health. Okay, yes, sure. And in fact, I don't even dispute this paragraph. What I'm disputing is that, well, we'll get there. Teaches valuable lessons on teamwork and discipline, and has brought us lifelong community. What does that even mean? What does that mean? It's just like this is word salad. Every child should have access to the life-saving power of sports. Stop it. Stop it. Maybe it stops you from being drug addicts or something. I suppose that's life-saving, but give me a break. And again, this stops no one from participating in sports. All right, now, right now, transgender and intersex human rights are under attack. What? Transgender and why are they throwing intersex in there? It's amazing that they're throwing intersex in there. As if there's again, 0.0018% of the population is intersex. And again, all intersex people are either male or female, even though they have one of those syndromes, Klinefelter syndrome or whatever. If there's a Y present in the intersex condition in their chromosomes, they're considered male. And if there's all X's, they're considered female. Every intersex person is either male or female. They just happen to have an extra chromosome, kind of like Down syndrome, which causes a physical or mental abnormality. And abnormal is not a bad word, okay? Abnormality just means an anomaly. Same thing, okay? So right now, transgender and intersex humans are under attack, with politicians in Washington, D.C. pushing forward H.R. 734, the so-called Protection of Girls and Women in Sports Act. No, that's what it's called, not the so-called. That's what it's called, which would stipulate that Title IX compliance requires banning transgender intersex girls. No, it categorizes the separation based on sex, not gender, not what people feel in their head, but what they are from a physiological, biological standpoint. So it would not bar them from participating in sports. They can still play sports with the sex that they are. If this bill passes, transgender and intersex girls, again, An intersex girl is different than a transgender girl, too. An intersex girl is a girl or woman. Transgender, or excuse me, an intersex girl or woman is a female. A transgender woman or girl is a male. So, sorry, it would not require banning them. It would require them to participate with their sex. But they say it's banning transgender and intersex girls and women from participating in sports. If this bill passes, transgender and intersex girls, those are two different things. They're, my God. And intersex women throughout the country will be forced to sit on the sidelines away from their peers and their communities. No, they would not. No, they will not. Furthermore, the policing of who can and cannot play school sports, no one says they can or can't. That's not policing of who can and cannot play. School sports will very likely lead to the policing of bodies of all girls, including cisgender girls. Yeah, see, they tried to make this argument in, what state was it? Where they said that this is, they would be doing genital inspections. Yeah, that's not what they said. It's, I think it was Oklahoma, wasn't it? Genital inspections? No, you mean they'd have a sports physical? Meaning that's not, it would not, policing who can and cannot play school sports will very likely lead to the policing of the bodies of all girls, including cisgender girls. No, it won't. Every fucking kid has to have a sports physical. This will deter girls from participating in sports? No, I don't think so. I don't think it'll change girls participating in sports at all. And create additional barriers. No, it won't create additional barriers. Oh, wait a minute. Anyway, because they're going to say it only applies to women. Well, no, it's transgender females, identified females who are male, actually females, will also have to participate in women's sports. Denying children access to a place where they can gain significant mental and physical health benefits. This is just a sadness letter. I should be having a sad violin playing right now. And learn lifelong lessons that comes from being part of a team and working hard towards your goals does not protect women in sports. Well, sure it does, because women participating against males, there's a significantly different body mass, bone density, things like that, that makes it more dangerous for women to play against males. But not even that. It's separated by sex. Sorry. We believe that gender equity is in sport is critical. Now, wait to this next line. This is the good one. Which is why we urge policymakers to turn their attention and effort to the causes women athletes have been fighting for decades, including equal pay. Okay, I'm going to stop and just address the equal pay. There will never be equal pay in sports. Why? Because sports is part of the entertainment industry, particularly professional sports, but even college sports. They're part of an entertainment industry, and entertainment revenue determines how people are paid in the entertainment industry. And until women's sports match the interest of men's sports and generate the revenue that men's sports generate, there will never be equal pay. Because right now, none of the women's sports generate the same revenue as men's sports. There's only one. Now here's what they did with the U.S. national soccer team, though. Because the men's team, whenever they would even qualify for the World Cup, would bring in exponentially more money than the women's, who made it all the way to the finals. And so they've decided that all monies made, generated, all the revenue generated by both the men's and women's teams would be split among the men's and women's teams, which the men's kind of cucked out and said, yeah, okay, we'll agree to that. But think about it. The women's national team has been very successful, right? So when they go to the World Cup, and even though they only got third place, all their revenue in future years will have to be shared with the men's team. Again, just like
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Yeah, that's brilliant, because when they were doing the lawsuits against the men's or U.S. national soccer, USA Soccer USA or whatever they call it, they were already making more than the men because of their success within the Women's World Cup, which generates about 1/20th of the revenue that the Men's World Cup generates. Not even that. I think it's 1/30th. It's 1/30th. Like 40. It was like 122 million to 6 billion. That's why the men get paid more. That's why NBA players get paid more than WNBA players, because still to this day, the WNBA has never made a profit in its almost 30 years of existence. It's always been supplemented by the NBA. That's why professional women's soccer, those players do not make the same as professional men's soccer, even in the United States. Hell, that's why the, what do they call it? Is it the Gatorade League of basketball does not make the same as the NBA. Those men who still play the same game in the minor leagues of basketball, baseball, hockey, whatever do not make the same as the major leagues, because the major leagues generate way more revenue. In fact, I would imagine that minor league baseball players probably generate more revenue than the top league of women's professional soccer, and probably get paid more than those women's soccer players. I would guess it. Some of the minor league teams are very, very successful. So there's never going to be equal pay in sports, because sports is entertainment. Just like female porn stars make 20 times what male porn stars make, because there's more demand for female porn stars. And there's other female models make way, way more than male models. They do the same job, but female models are in much higher demand. So I'll just read this one more time. You can keep all that in mind. We believe gender equity run in sports is critical, which is why we urge policymakers to turn their attention and effort to the causes women athletes have been fighting for decades, including equal pay, never going to happen, an end to abuse and mistreatment, absolutely critical that they focus on that too. Also, not just uneven implementation of Title IX again. I'm sure they're figuring out that this implementation of Title IX, as far as sports goes, again, revenue-based, and lack of access and equity for girls of color and girls with disabilities. What? Stop it. There is absolutely the same access for girls as there are for boys in various sports around the country. Now, part of the problem, or part of the issue, is not as many girls participate in sports as boys, because girls have so many other options. A lot of girls participate in dance and just other things. So, yeah, there's not as many girls playing sports. Boys' main outlet is sports. I mean, everyone has music, everyone has theater and other things, but it's not ever going to be the same. And why girls with disabilities? Okay, if there's opportunities for kids with disabilities, they're out there and they apply equally to boys and girls with disabilities. Sorry, just stop it. Our deepest hope is that transgender and intersex kids will never have to feel the isolation, exclusion, and othering that HR 734 is seeking to enshrine in law. Well, there's probably a reason that sports are separated by sex and not gender. So anyway, so that was their letter. Now, a couple other places mentioned this. Breitbart, obviously the right-wing nut jobs, talking about Megan Rapinoe and Sue Bird signed a letter opposing protection. Now see how they frame it. Opposing protection of girls and women in sports. Okay, because that's the name of the bill even though and it's funny because the letter says so-called bill on protection of women's sports. But pretty much same article. But it's interesting. They throw in a couple other little tidbits in here. So Megan Rapinoe and Sue Bird among 40 athletes who have signed on a letter supporting transgender athletes competing as women and in opposition to a bill being introduced in Congress to protect, it should be protect, not protest, women's sports. A group of athletes also include Olympic hammer thrower Gwen Berry, who has repeatedly protested against the United States during her events, retired soccer player Lori Lindsay, and former Team USA soccer player Becky Sauerbrunn. Most of those who signed the advocacy letter are either already retired or are later in their careers and won't be personally affected by transgender women invading their sports. The letters, okay, and then it just goes on to basically tell you the facts. They add down here, though, Representative Greg Steube, Republican of Florida, introduced the Protection of Women and Girls in Sports Act in February to enact an amendment to Title IX, quote, to provide that for purposes of determining compliance with Title IX of such acts in athletics, sex shall be recognized based solely on a person's reproductive biology and genetics at birth, which should just say sex, because supposedly sex and gender are different things, right? So just based on sex. Stoops' bill goes on to say that it would be a violation of Title IX. They have a lot of typos in here. For a recipient of federal financial assistance who operates, sponsors, or facilitates athletic programs or activities to permit a person whose sex is male to participate in an athletic program or activity that is designed for women or girls, aka female. They need to use language. See, if you're going to write a bill like this, and I say this all the time, they've changed kind of the rules how you can talk about this stuff, you know, by saying, oh, sex and gender are different. So I always refer to males and females, or women and girls, boys and men, whatever. Because if you use their rules, make sure you understand how they use the language. And look, separated by sex, male and female, not gender, women and men, even though I don't use language that way. And to me, they're synonymous. But if you use their language, try to make it easier for them to understand what the hell you're talking about. All right, enough about that topic. I think there's a couple other articles linked in here. Oh, this is funny though. Someone posted this thing from 2017. FC Dallas under 15 boys squad beat the U.S. women's national team in a scrimmage. So if you're ever looking for that article, it is here because that's kind of funny. All right, and then Outkick also has an article on it. And there's the tweet. There's the article. Megan Rapinoe among prominent female athletes petitioning Title IX change banning men from women's sports. Now, that's not a Title IX change. That's the other thing. This isn't changing Title IX. This is enforcing Title IX based on sex, which Title IX has always been. Now, one of the other problems, though, is the Biden administration is the Biden administration is trying to force Title IX to include gender, as gender is being twisted as we do today, right? So there's a little Fox News clip here. It's about 8 minutes long. I'll do the first part of it so you can see what it's talking about. You can watch the rest later. If the link, what happened? What happened here? Okay, something happened where the audio is no longer working. So let me fix this real quick. Let's just refresh Outkick, see if it'll pop up correctly this time. Okay, let's see if this will play this time. It played earlier. That's weird. Okay, it is not playing. And I have all the links up. All right, well. Don't know why. Do I have it? Oh, that's why. There we go.
What used to be women's only categories. Biden's new Title IX regulations would essentially make it more difficult, if not dang near impossible, for schools and colleges to keep biological males out of women's sports, bathrooms, and locker rooms. Under these new rules, no school or college that receives federal funding would be allowed to impose a one-size-fits-all policy that categorically bans transgender students from playing on sports teams consistent with their gender identity. If so, that institution would be in violation of Title IX. Yes.
So they need
Title IX, the statute put in place 50 years ago to further women's rights, activities, and opportunities.
So I guess
has essentially been
again, the bill that they're proposing is for strengthening Title IX as used for based on sex. Okay, making this all based on sex. So you can watch that a little bit later. Let's give you little quick hits for the end here and get out of here. Let me do Gun Fox's article first. Meet Joe Biden's new offshore energy chief. Now, this is the news break link I was sent, but here's the article in Energy Wire. More quickly than almost all of President Joe Biden's political appointees, Elizabeth Klein became a target for her perceived hostility to oil drilling on public lands. Now, wait a minute. She's what? The new energy chief? That perception 2 years ago sunk her nomination to help lead the Interior Department as Deputy Secretary. Instead, the veteran of past Democratic administrations stepped behind the scenes advising Interior Secretary Deb Haaland on water policy issues. Now, Klein, called Liz by her friends and colleagues, is back in the center of the action on Biden's energy agenda. As director of the Bureau of Ocean Energy Management, a job she started in January, Klein will play an important role in shaping how much oil drilling and offshore wind farm construction can happen in the waters off this nation's shores for years to come. That means that they'll be ending offshore drilling. And suspicion of the Biden administration on oil and gas hasn't died down. In fact, Klein's taking the helm of the Bureau at a time of heightened tensions over the Biden administration's offshore policies, with both climate activists and Republican lawmakers dissatisfied by the White House compromises on oil and gas. In one of her first interviews as director, Klein downplayed the way she's been portrayed by the political right without shying away from her responsibility in carrying out the president's climate policies. Quote, "My job here is to implement the president's agenda and his priorities. He's made clear that he thinks we have a responsibility to address what he's called a climate crisis, and so I intend on doing that." So anyway, all I can say is yippee. Her history as a firm opponent of oil and gas drilling hardly qualifies her as a neutral arbiter to develop our nation's offshore resources. Michael Chamberlain, the director of the conservative government watchdog Protect the Public's Trust, and who led Nevada's communications for President Donald Trump's 2016 campaign, said in a statement after Klein was announced as the BOEM director. But former colleagues have defended the longtime D.C. lawyer, saying she's far from a zealot painted by conservatives. They describe a cool-headed and seasoned policy operator who's worked under 4 interior secretaries, juggled some of the department's most thorny issues. So, I'm going to guess that zealot's probably a much more apt description of her. So anyway, thank you, Gun Fox, for dropping that in the links today. I'll have it in the links as we finish out. All right, let's get down. Let's go down the list of things that are on that'll be in the links today. This is an article in Front Page Magazine. Biden bans 53% of Americans from buying cars. The new poor will be anyone who can't afford an electric car. This is kind of an editorial type article. New York Times reported that the Biden administration will abuse EPA regulations to eliminate most real car sales by 2030. Now, this is a California thing, right? Anything California does, hide your butthole. Let's just put it that way. The plan is to force 67% of car sales to be electric by 2032. Most Americans won't be able to afford them, but they'll have no other options. Even the cheapest electric cars, which are still far more expensive than their real car counterparts and are just one battery problem away from turning into mostly unusable junk, are out of the price range of the majority of Americans who need an income of $80,000 to make an EV auto loan work. That's fine in Washington, D.C., where the median income is $83,567. It's the highest in the nation, but will entirely price out much of the country out of the new car market. 53% of Americans earn less than $75,000. Some of the 16% who earn from $50,000 to $75,000 may be able to make an electric vehicle purchase work if they cut back on food and clothes for the kids. But the remaining 37% will be completely locked out and unable to own a car. They'll have even bigger monthly payments, or with no transportation, unable to work. Now, this is a little bit hyperbole too, but it's it's still concerning that they're trying to push out the combustion engine over electric cars, which electric cars are amazingly inefficient in cold climates, just to put it that way. In American Greatness, you gotta read this. This is a good editorial on Are Public Employee Unions Unconstitutional? All government employees should realize that the process of collective bargaining, as usually understood, cannot be transplanted into the public service. It has a distinct and insurmountable limitations when applied to public personnel management. The above caveat about government unions, usually known by the kinder and gentler public employee unions, was not issued by Ron DeSantis or Donald Trump. The statement was made by progressive icon Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who did not believe in public unions. But FDR wasn't the only Democrat opposed to government unionization. George Meany, the president of the AFL-CIO for 24 years, once said, "It is impossible to bargain collectively with the government." Both men understood that the very nature of government makes it wrong for its leaders to enter into negotiations with any union. When government unions negotiate, they often sit across the table from people they help put in office with generous campaign contributions. When these unions go on strike, they walk out on the taxpayer. Plus, public employee unions don't produce anything. They're not producing things that a company that makes profits, would use to pay their employees. They bargain against the taxpayer. So there's a whole article on this. I've made this argument many times, but if you want to read this one, it's a very good article. Moving on to PJ Media. Democrats don't want you to read this article about their alleged ginormous money laundering scam. Oh, yeah. Public records show some Democratic supporters appear to have been donating multiple small amounts of money, sometimes dozens of times per day, that add up to tens of thousands of dollars. Naturally, the Department of Justice seems to be too busy to look into what is likely a colossal money laundering scheme, while the DOJ spends its time chasing terrorist parents who attend school board meetings and mother-daughter insurrection teams. Individual straw donors are apparently unwittingly being used to make thousands of donations every year worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not more. Now, here's how it works. A person makes a donation to a left-leaning politician or organization. Bogus donors then continue to make donations, sometimes thousands of them, using the original donor's identity. Many of the exploited donors are elderly and or unemployed and have no idea their names and addresses are being used in the bogus donation scam. The top donor in Arizona supposedly made 18,672 contributions in only 3 years, which breaks down to just over 17 donations per day. Another person allegedly donated more money than the value of her home. Still another Tucson woman claims she did not make the 18,000 donations made in her name to the tune of $170,000, despite what the Federal Election Commission records show. And also a New Orleans man whose occupation was listed as not employed allegedly made 847 separate donations for a total of $18,276 and some change. So apparently, James O'Keefe, his new O'Keefe Media Group, formerly Project Veritas, recently confronted some straw donors, many of whom appeared to have no idea their identities were being used to funnel millions of dollars to Democratic candidates. Some were not very nice when they were approached. Here's what we'll show you one and then move on.
We think it's your name and your address being used.
Lori Ball, over the last 2 years, has made over 537 donations for a total.
Oh.
$7,000, is that? No. 1,850 individual donations for over $13,400.
That doesn't sound right.
No? Okay.
While members of the Maryland House formally debate investigating contribution irregularities exposed by OMG News, another citizen journalist has sent in footage of themselves investigating irregularities in their own state. This time, a dynamic duo from Southern California corroborates information that they found by researching publicly available data.
There's some days it says like you've donated 7 times in one day.
No.
Like $5 a month or something?
Yeah, $5 a month.
But that wouldn't total $13,000 in 2 years.
No, it would not.
Using your name and address. It's not coming out of your account,
Oh, I
but
see.
they're donating it in your name.
Well, that could very well be because they need to have spread it out.
Exactly.
They can't all. I can see. I can see how that can happen.
Yeah.
Vicky, somebody using
Yeah,
my name.
identity.
See, this is what we think is happening. We think somebody's using your name. Do you think that you've donated like $60,000 to them in the past year? So that would be $5,000 a month?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that's what's going on there. Stop going to their houses. I don't know. I mean, these people didn't do anything wrong. People are doing it in their name. I don't know. Look, CNN will go to your house in a heartbeat, and but it's interesting that anyway. So they continued. A lot of money went through far left donation organizations Act Blue, whose website boasts of raising billions since 2004. So yeah, that's. If you had any doubt that this was happening, this doesn't surprise me at all. It doesn't surprise me in the least that someone's doing that. I would be interested to see if they found any Republicans doing the same thing, but I don't like it. I think it's cheating and FTG to them. Also, in PJ Media, explosive revelations: feds potentially instigated in January 6th Capitol riot violence. You're going to have to read this. Julie Kelly, who from American Greatness has found documents that are starting to show up in these trials. So while Democrats and the media have long pushed the narrative of Donald Trump incited an insurrection at the Capitol, fresh evidence has emerged about the federal government's involvement in the January 6th riot, raising further questions about the government's role in the incident. A lawyer representing members of the Proud Boys filed a motion revealing the presence of numerous informants who had infiltrated the group. The motion, read it below, obtained by Julie Kelly of American Greatness, stated that FBI informants were vastly outnumbered by both confidential human sources and plainclothes operatives from other law enforcement agencies. So they've been finding people from the DC Metro. They had like dozens of undercovers, and they have some video, audio evidence of them egging people on to do more shit. So you'll have to read this, and she's got all the links and documents in the article. You'll have to check it out. Good morning, Resolute Germ. How you doing? In American Greatness, also. There's also an interesting court ruling. I think we talked about this the other day, but if you want to read more about it, in the January 6th trial, that was in the appeals. Two of the judges said that there was an interesting, let's see, fair reading of the law. Let me hang on a second here. A Massachusetts man on Friday was charged with a felony related to his participation in the protests at January 6th. Mark Zahidi already faced misdemeanors for his nonviolent and brief jaunt through the building that afternoon, but the Justice Department decided to add the common obstruction of an official proceeding charge to Sahadi's case on April 7th. That same day, the U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia threw Sahadi and more than 300 January 6 defendants charged with the same obstruction felony a potential lifeline. In what one judge described as a splintered decision, a 3-judge panel narrowly reversed a lower court ruling that tossed the obstruction count against 3 Capitol protesters. D.C. District Court Judge Carl Nichols dismissed the charge last year, largely based on the argument that the statute, quote, requires that the defendant have taken some action with respect to a document, record, or other object in order to, quote, now remember, get this word, this is an important word in the sentence, corruptly obstruct and impede or influence an official proceeding. Now, fair reading of the law provides that Nichols is correct. The passed in 2002 in the wake of the Enron scandal as part of the Sarbanes-Oxley Act, Section 1512C2 closed a legal loophole related to evidence tampering. The law applies to, quote, whoever corruptly, important word, otherwise obstructs, influences, or impedes any official proceeding or attempts to do so. It's a crime punishable by up to 20 years. Now, when he signed the bill into law in 2002, President George W. Bush, as I explained in this other article, there's a link there, noted that the word corruptly would compel the government to prove the defendant's criminal state of mind, and the overall provision must not infringe on the constitutional right to petition the government for redress of grievances. So that part, that's kind of a summary of what the issue is, because using the word corruptly, using this section, they're using it incorrectly. And so many of the people, there's 300 some of these defendants, and some who've already been, have guilty pleas, whatever, this affects, and it may drop that charge completely, which would drop the only felony charge that they've been throwing around. You got to read the whole article to get the in-depth summary of it, but that's kind of a Reader's Digest version. Also, in the Daily Caller, FBI has used undercover employees to gain information for memo targeting Catholics. Jim Jordan has revealed the FBI used an undercover employee to inform its leaked analysis on domestic extremism among Catholic Americans. Remember when they had that thing, how people who are traditional Catholic mass, people who are more likely to be, what do they say? More likely to be radicalized. That's hilarious. Let's see, what did it say? The Judiciary Committee issued subpoenas to Wray on Monday requesting records related to its probe in the FBI's domestic violent extremism investigations against Catholic Americans. The investigation was initiated after a leak of the January 23 FBI Richmond Field Office memo suggesting Roman Catholic groups who prefer the Latin Mass are a risk of anti-Semitic, anti-immigrant, anti-LGBTQ, and white supremacist ideology. Hit the button. So, and now here's the committee saying, we now know the FBI, relying on information derived from at least one undercover employee, sought to use local religious organizations as a new avenue for tripwire and source development. So you gotta check out this one. All right, let's keep moving real quick because I gotta get out of here. In legal insurrection, I think we told you about how the FBI is now linking words like based, red pill, looksmacking. I've never heard of that. Looksmaxing with violent extremism. So this, oh no, I just read this the other day on Twitter. So anyway, let's see. Here it is. Heritage Foundation Oversight Project said it used a Freedom of Information Act request to expose FBI documents that include glossaries showing that common internet slang has been flagged as an indication of involuntary celibate violence and extremism, incels, or racially or ethnically motivated violent extremism. Part of the document refers to specifically to incels, or those involuntary celibate, whom the threat overview describes as possibly seeking to commit violence in support of their beliefs that society unjustly denies them sexual or romantic attention to which they believe they are entitled. The assessment notes, while most incels do not engage in violence, some have been involved in at least 5 lethal attacks in the United States and Canada. Wow, 5? You mean in the United States and Canada? Wow. Wow. Now, many of the terms mentioned in the FBI's list of incel terminology are either widely used across the internet or innocuous in nature. One of the terms in the glossary is red pill. You might be a terrorist if you say red pill, which comes from the 1999 film The Matrix and has been used as a metaphor for seeing hidden or politically incorrect truths about the modern world, particularly when it comes to politics or dating. It also includes looksmaxing, which I never heard of, which is defined as in the document as the process of self-improvement with the intent to become more attractive. Oh, looksmaxing, so maxing out your looks. I get it. Also listed is the term LARPing. which every trans person in America does, which is originally used to describe people engaged in live-action role play, often as characters in high fantasy settings. You know, me just saying these words on YouTube probably has my channel flagged by the FBI. Hello, Special Cat Acid and Black Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
And Rick Ashbringer. How you doing? So anyway, yeah, you got to read this shit. I'm telling you. It'll be in the links. I'm putting the links at the other show. Apparently Steven Van Zandt, the guitarist for Bruce Springsteen and also from The Sopranos, apparently wants you to be deceased. Steven Van Zandt is a longtime guitarist with Bruce Springsteen's E Street Band. He also played Silvio Dante in The Sopranos, as well as a number of other mobsters. Apparently, he has taken both Bruce Springsteen's fanatical and unreflective leftism and mob thuggishness deeply to heart and combined the two together. On Sunday, he tweeted a call to exterminate the Republican cockroaches. Oh, please show me a link. He quickly deleted the tweet, but not because he thought better of it. In fact, he doubled down in a series of angry rants that demonstrated once and again the ugly, hate-filled heart of the authoritarian left. So anyway, I don't know if anyone has here. Breitbart did an article about it. Maybe they have the links. Maybe they have the tweets. Let's check it out. He deletes tweet. A call to exterminate GOP cockroaches. Gee, that's not violent language. Let's see. Oh, here it is. Let's see. To avoid spending half my day deleting fox-sucking scumbag Russian bots and maggot cockroaches like you, go take away some women's rights, keep some black people from voting, go harass a trans event, go shoot some kids, do what Republicans do best, and get the fuck out of my feed. Wow, that's isn't that special? And then what else? To avoid spending... Okay, you already wrote that. Apparently, is this archived? Let's see what this is. Did they archive it, or is he... Oh, this page doesn't exist. That's the one that got deleted. Okay, so anyway, it's not the first time Van Zandt entered in the political realm. He's just a scary-looking dude. Anyway, so yeah, Steven Van Zandt. And then there's an article about the Big Nothing Burger report from ProPublica on Justice Clarence Thomas. Apparently they're mad that Justice Clarence Thomas has a rich friend that he does some vacationing and hangs out with. Conservative legal experts and lawmakers called Thursday's ProPublica report on Clarence Thomas' vacation with friend and billionaire real estate developer Harlan Crow partisan, saying he did not violate any ethics rules. Ilya Shapiro, senior fellow and director of the Constitutional Studies at the Manhattan Institute, told the Daily Caller News Foundation that the report was a big, breathless nothing burger and that Democrat calls for Thomas' resignation are just a political grandstanding. And Mike Lee, the Utah senator, said the report was designed only to mislead the public and smear an honorable man. You can read more about that here. That report came out last week, and it was kind of fucked up, if you ask me. White House tells journalists they have no business reporting on leaked intel. So there's a big scandal on some leaked military intel about Ukraine. The White House urged journalists not to report on what appears to be a leaked Pentagon classified documents that are currently circulating online. John Kirby, the coordinator of the Strategic Communications at the National Security Council, made his case during a White House press briefing on Monday as U.S. government scrambles to respond to what some suggest may be the largest breach of classified secrets since the Edward Snowden saga. So they're not happy this happened. Without confirming the validity of the documents, this information that has no business in the public domain, Kirby said from the podium after facing repeated questions about the documents. So he doesn't want the media to report on the documents that are all over the internet. Okay. Pentagon released a statement on Sunday saying the Department of Defense is working to assess the validity and national security impact of images that began popping up in recent weeks on social media, starting with Discord showing what appears to be secret details about China, Russia's war in Ukraine, surveillance efforts, and more. U.S. officials engaged with allies, partners in Congress about the disclosure, the Pentagon added. So anyway, not a good thing. Thank you. Based Fran. Okay, wait, that's a new person. Based Fran with the 5 spot. Thank you very much. P-Dog, it's been a minute. Got MS from a vaccine, lost all of my memory, and was paralyzed for like a year. I used to listen to you and HB religiously, but I was at January 6th. It was the best experience of my life. What? Holy shit. Is that real? Thank you very much for sponsoring the show. Greatly appreciated. That's man, you've had quite a you've had quite a year then. I hope you're better, and I'm welcome back. Greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. Okay, so let me I got to close out here. Holy shit. I'm way past time. Anyway, AOC has said that the calls for anarchy, and CNN anchors pretend to be shocked. So, after Texas federal judge ruled on abortion pills, the left collapsed onto their fainting couches and demanded free smelling salts. Andrea Ocasio-Cortez was one of them, and Sandy was brooking no argument. What did that mean? That perhaps the judge had a point. In fact, the New York twirly girl turned bartender turned congresswoman told CNN that Democrats should ignore it. She confidently nodded to Anderson Cooper and unblinkingly asserted her belief. Senator Ron Wyden's assessment of the ruling after a judge issued his decision. Wyden tweeted that there's no basis for this ruling in law, and I think that the Biden administration can and must ignore the judge and keep the mifepristone, which is the drug, on the market, and this medication available to every woman in America. Barrett Lancer, what's happening? That's a new name too I haven't seen. So welcome to the show. So anyway, she went on CNN and said that they should ignore a judge's ruling. The Biden administration should. Oh, that's you. Oh, that's you. The base Fran. Okay, got it. All right, got it. Well, I'm glad you're doing okay. I'd really be interested in hearing about your January 6th experience. That would be very interesting. All right, so anyway, so Sandy says you should ignore a judge's ruling. Well, how's that going to work? What's interesting is our courts really don't have a method of enforcement other than incarcerating people. Like they can't. It's hard to get people to force people to even pay fines. Sometimes they can kind of jail people for not paying fines, but it's still some of these orders. We're not sure how they enforce it. Daily Caller, former EPA Chief of Staff Mandy Gunasekara warns Biden's push for electric vehicles is a major push for China. Yeah, duh. You can check that one out. And also the Daily Caller, federal regulators and climate alarmists are killing America's oldest and most iconic industry. That'd be the fishing industry. American fishermen are the most regulated in the world, and it's driving experienced captains off the water and young people away from their homes in search of opportunities elsewhere. This is written by a fishing boat captain talking about how the regulations are killing the fishing industry. It's interesting because my niece's husband fishes kind of for a living and makes gourmet sushi platters with what he catches. So it'll be interesting. Sorry about that. My stomach said F this. In Daily Wire, Tesla's going to build a new battery factory in Shanghai after a Musk visit. Tesla said it will build an additional plant in Shanghai, China, to meet worldwide demand for large batteries, even after the communist nation's manufacturing sector took a dump with the result of aggressive government lockdowns. The electric automaker revealed on Sunday that the new mega factory in Shanghai will be capable of annually producing 10,000 powerful utility-scale energy storage batteries, which the firm calls megapacks. Each unit can store 3 megawatt hours of energy, capable of powering 3,600 homes for 1 hour in the event of an outage. Oh, so these are those. I don't understand that kind of shit, but yeah, that business is going to China. Thanks, Elon. Thank you to Black Hebrew Israelite, by the way. That's right. Sponsor the show. Dropping a deuce in the tip jar, who said base red pill incels unit. Now I'm on the list. Yeah. Right. All right. Last article that I haven't touched, and then I'll get out of here. Washington State Democrats plan to confiscate your money if they think you're making too much. The time is coming if leftists get their way when a government official can decide that you're making too much money and confiscate all except what he or she or Z decides what you need. This is already happening in effect with federal, state, and municipal income taxes. But a new bill in Washington state is carrying the idea farther than it ever before advanced in the United States. The bill proposes an excess compensation tax to level out the unfair advantage that overpaid people have. Well, who is overpaid? Anyone the Democrats say is. Duh. Jason Rance of Seattle's KTTH explained Sunday that the excess compensation tax comes from SB 5767, funding healthcare access by imposing an excise tax on the annual compensation paid to certain highly paid compensated hospital employees, which was introduced last Tuesday and referred to the Ways and Means Committee. Rance noted that Democrats hope to tax specific job salaries at the behest of healthcare workers' unions. You have to be naive to think they'll stop there. Of course, it won't stop there. The bill is one of the most open acknowledgments yet that leftists are pursuing an avowed socialist agenda in which government wonks, not market factors, determine compensation. So there's a lot more to this article, but that's a little frightening, isn't it? We're going to tax you because we think you're overcompensated, and we're going to just give it to somebody else. FTG. So, guys, I got to go. It's late. But before you hit anything, before you click a button, before you even turn away from my lovely face, if you're watching it right now, if you're just listening, I don't suppose that'll happen. But please, right now, before you do anything else, turn to your phone or computer, clicker, mouse, whatever, and click the damn like button. Okay? I know you like this. I know you do. You're here. You've been here most of the time. And I appreciate... Oh, Tripp's in the house. What up, Trippy? Trippy Liver's in the house. Trippy got his Twitter account back, so he's back to his traditional Twitter account as opposed to the alt. If you don't follow Trippy Liberty on Twitter, you should. Trip, in fact, I'm going to just give you a wrench here so you can drop your... where is it? Here, I'm gonna drop you a wrench so you can put a link in the chat for your Twitter account. Follow Trippy on Twitter. All right, I gotta go, you guys. I will be dropping the updated link to the links during the outro. Thank you for joining me today on the Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, or roughly that, just depending. It's always depending on how quickly I get home from my early morning gig at UPS. If you all will do me the favor, share the stream after the show, put a comment in the comment section if anything tripped your trigger, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for being here. I got to go. My name is P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here. Bye. Hey, this is P-Dog Knight, and thanks for watching today on the P-Dog Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.